Colbert. You okay? It's a little chilly in there.
From Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chambers, it's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host.
This is Councilman Kaz Kwiatkowski, and don't know quite what to make of it, but we got to keep you away from the microphone, you know?
Caffeine.
What?
Caffeine. I'm living on caffeine.
You know, I just saw the movie It. You know, you're like freaking me out with that now.
Kill, die.
So what?
It's Halloween.
Yeah, that's right. So you got to be careful with the kids walking around.
Yeah. Please watch out
Extra
for
careful.
the small ones
Although
and the big ones.
we don't seem to get the number of trick-or-treaters they used to.
No, there's like no trick-or-treating at all, it seems.
Well, it's been going down for years. I think, I don't know, you know, used to be a little different. So what's up?
Oh, nothing. We have somebody from Colorado who's trying to watch, but I need to fix his computer, so.
Colorado, huh?
Yeah. Our Ohio viewer has moved to Colorado.
I want to be closer to the Coors beer in the mountain spring.
Yes, where the beer flows straight out of the mountains.
You don't
Just like
believe
in
that,
the commercials.
do you?
I've seen it. No. No.
Someday I'll tell you the truth about making beer.
Ew.
No, it doesn't matter where they draw the water from.
Oh, yeah.
It really doesn't.
It all gets processed because to kill the germs, you got to boil the
It becomes
water anyway.
chemical water.
It's all chemical water. Delicious
That's what
chemical
they do.
water.
So, you know, it's what they do with it afterwards, but
Just add some artificial sweetener / poison, and you'll be all set.
I was taking a little ride this week.
Yeah.
Just, you know, in general, watching, surprised that, you know, over the years how this area in Northwest PA
Yeah.
gone through some tough changes, you know. But we all have a lot of work in front of us.
What kind of tough changes?
Well, you see a lot of the results of declining industry, you know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, lots of
declining
things.
population, and
Things have just closed up, folded,
just,
and walked away.
you know, surprising.
Like GE, I mean, they're closing up shop slowly but surely. What do you do in a situation like that? I heard that they're probably going to just keep some of their design industry part here, where they have the engineers will be here designing, but all the manufacturing is going to be out of state and out of the country in some cases. So what do you do? I don't know what to do.
Everything's changing, but hey, the weather's changing, you know.
Yeah, it's finally starting to get a little bit cooler, and then warmer, and then cooler.
Yesterday was a typical Northwest PA day. Starts out at 80.
Yeah. And then a hurricane by the end of the day.
I missed it. I was on my way back.
Yeah.
But we hit a little bit of it. It was like, you know.
Yeah, it was pretty cray-cray. It was blowing, and it looked like winter. The skies were crisp, and the clouds, all of a sudden, there's super dark clouds against the nice light, and then everything was dark, and then it was blowing and raining and cold. Yeah, I loved it. It was fantastic.
Oh, you like that, huh?
Yeah. I love the change of seasons, but not all in one day.
Well, that's the beauty of Erie. That can happen.
Yeah. Did we check our...
Are we on?
Yeah, I guess.
Everybody must be...
Live now. If you're not watching us, you can't see us.
I get a lot of calls from people that... I tell them, call, you know, feel free to call.
If you can hear us, or if you know someone who doesn't know where we are, we're now on channel 1024. Instead of 9, now there's 4 digits. Much more easy to remember and just rolls off the tongue.
What's that?
1024. That's our new number. That's where we are now.
What if it was 1020?
1020? At least that would roll off the tongue, but 1024. So,
What was that old CB talk, 10-4?
10-4, good buddy.
Boy, we're a long way removed from those days.
I heard they still use CBs, but I every time I pick one up and try to listen, I don't hear anything.
With cell phones, I mean.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Why would truckers have, cell phones? Why would they have CBs anymore? But the thing is, when cell phone services are out, you can still use.
Oh, CBs are limited too by your range. Although you had variations of it, the sideband.
Right.
Soup it up illegally.
Sideband.
Remember getting somebody to tweak it a little bit?
I know people that have done such things. I was never smart enough to do so. Sideband's cool though, because instead of hearing this, you hear like that's what you hear when it goes to sideband.
Speaking of which, you guys had your...
We had a convention this weekend called BlurryCon. We had about 600 people come to it. We had a whole bunch of special guests from out of state. We flew a lady in called Dorothy Fawn, who is actually a voice actor for a lot of cartoons. And we had just people running around in costumes. We had giant Star Wars props.
Do they go out into the...
Oh, yeah, everybody just wanders.
Community like that, too?
Well, yeah, some people do. They went out and they took, like, pictures and stuff. It was pretty amazing. It was fun. I didn't get a chance to put on my shark head. I have a shark head that I was going to wander around in.
Running down the highway? Or
No, we don't generally think that that's a good idea, so no, they're not running down the highway. But
even you go to the big cities, you see that. That's just normal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in Pittsburgh, it's a huge industry. I mean, they bring in $3 to $4 million worth of traffic for the city just in this one convention that they have.
But see, if you go to San Francisco, you see that every day. You got Blue Man, Silver Man.
Yeah. There's people just wandering around. So, yeah, don't mind me. I'm just... I'm upgrading a friend's computer right now on my phone.
Actually, we're going to be on Channel 24 maybe at 5 o'clock. So,
ooh, what's up with that?
Everybody's concerned about blight and urban blight.
Well, it'd be nice if people were concerned about it before it gets this far.
Well, that's the big. We had this study session here, which we had some airing of the,
airing
frustration,
of grievances.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, I mean, it's like there's many forms of blight too. We all think of blight just being like a dilapidated building, but blight is many things. Blight is garbage laying around,
garbage,
trash, junk cars parked.
How about people? Can people be considered blight? When you have a city full of people that just don't give a crap to the point where we have a 22% showing up for voting,
well, that's not.
I would
blight.
consider that part of blight. That's like a social blight.
Blight is when, well, like I say, urban blight, it takes on many forms. I'm driving down Parade Street, right?
Yeah. And
you see cars parked on sidewalks that are damaged.
Right.
Look like they're in bad shape. That's blight. Tires laying around in businesses.
Yeah.
Gathering mosquitoes in water. That's blight. People parking on their front lawns. That's blight.
Yeah.
It all adds up that it's like what they always call the broken window theory. Okay? When one window gets broken and it doesn't get fixed, no big deal, right? But then the second one gets broken. And then it's downhill from there.
I think the physical blight, it definitely leads to, if not caused by, the social blight. I don't know if I just made that term up, but I feel like
what do you call it?
Social blight.
Oh, yeah, that's
because people don't give a crap, then they're not going to do stuff. They're not going to fix up their house because why bother? I'm depressed. I'm just going to sit at home and watch overpriced cable and surf the internet for porn all day. That's social blight. And that's a problem.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
It's happened slowly, but it's creeping. Go ahead, caller.
I think figured I'd give you something to talk about.
Thank God.
Yeah, we're getting kind of bored. Go ahead.
Down by Elm Street there, the Walmart, that bank they ripped down. Any have plans, or they just gonna?
You know, I was going to check on that because I live right by there. At one time, they tried to give that to the city. They were trying to talk us into taking it maybe as a alternate precinct, like.
Oh.
But you know, they looked into the cost of maintaining it and everything else, and we couldn't swing it. So I think they've been trying to either market it or get rid of it. But I'll kind of check with the guys upstairs if they've heard anything. If not, next time I'm in Walmart, I'll ask the manager maybe. It would make a good site for a lot of them. You put like out properties there, like restaurants or something.
Yeah.
But I specifically haven't heard anything. But I can check on it because I know they're going to clean it up. But man, it's a nice corner there.
Yeah, it's a busy corner.
I used to love when the bank was there. That was at one time we had 3 banks and within so many miles of my house. So I guess I can understand why they did what they did. But why, do you go there a lot too, or?
No, I just happened to, when I was at Walmart, they were knocking it down. I asked a guy if he knew what they were going to do. He didn't tell me.
No, it's kind of surprising. I mean, I know they've been trying to do somewhat for a while, but I guess they, it's tough to repurpose buildings sometimes. Especially banks which are built a certain way, but because I've heard people over the years say, well, do this and do that with that. Remember the old bank on 12th and Parade?
Yeah.
That was another one. There were all kinds of plans for that one, but at the end of the day, no one. I knew somebody was interested, but it just never panned out.
The one on 38th Street too, the old Northwest.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. Sometimes they can repurpose them, but sometimes they just. Like I've watched box stores up on Peach Street, where one company will come in, they'll build it a certain size, but then the next company that wants to buy the maybe the area or the space, they don't want the high ceilings or and you see that when they've been trying to develop that at the mall where you had the upper floor of what was it, Carlisle, and now they're getting around to putting an adult game room up there, But yeah, it becomes repurposing buildings is tough, but.
I see that they're almost done with 38th Street there, but they're not doing anything with them lights this year.
I think they are. I'm going to check with the traffic engineer. She told me they were. The holdup was the poles were coming in late, but if you notice now, most of the poles are up. I think there's still a couple that aren't up.
Now, they were working today, but they have the lines like for turning, but there's no turning arrows on them.
No, I'm going to ask her, but from what I understood, they were going to get to them. They had trouble getting the poles and everything, but I would hope they do before next year.
Now that bicycle thing they have, that's a bicycle path?
They explain. I went to the upstairs to ask them how that works, and they looked it up on the internet, and then the TV stations did that too. I thought it was a bike lane because it sure looked like it, but they said no. What it is you have to. They're telling you that you have to share that lane with bicycles. So in other words,
I didn't know if there was no bicycles or bicycles or.
Well, stay tuned. But what they told me was if they draw a solid white line along the, like along the edge.
Yeah.
That is a bike path.
Okay, like they have on 6th Street now.
Right. Where you can't cross the solid white line. But in this case with 38th Street, what they're saying is that you have to share that lane, the right lane, with bicycles. And I'm going, wow, that could get interesting.
All right, I'll get off. Let somebody else call.
No, that's okay. But I'm glad you asked that because I'm going. They did a little, like I said, they did a little thing on TV about it. But I think it's going to get confusing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think they need to keep reinforcing that. Maybe an article in the newspaper or something, Because I tell you what, you and I probably been driving a long time. I never seen that, did you?
No.
Never saw that, it never came in my registration or anything. But I'll double check on that, but that's what they told me. That's a share the road with a bike lane.
Okay.
Okay. Makes sense to you?
I've seen it. I mean, I've seen it in cities. I've seen it in...
You almost wish they would. You almost wish they would have put a bike lane.
It'd be nice if it was just a full bike lane, because it gets confusing what happens when you're in that lane and there's a bike.
Well, they're telling you, here's the confusing part, if the guy's still listening, gentlemen.
Yeah.
According to the TV, and I probably should call PennDOT, but according to the TV, they're telling you have to give them so many feet.
Yeah.
Even if it means you go in the other lane. Now, you know what that means?
Yeah.
That means somebody's not going to look when they merge.
Yeah.
They're going to cut you off, and I'm going,
going to be cutting off.
Where does PennDOT come up with these gems? You know, I watch on the highway, you know, you're supposed to move over for emergency vehicles and everything, but you watch how many people cut you off without even looking to see if anybody's there.
Right.
Go ahead, caller.
What's that center thing on those new poles, the lights?
What do you mean center things?
Like it's like the old, what the hell am I trying to think of? The emergency vehicles. Or is it a camera?
It's probably a camera.
Because I know we don't have that radio light around here anymore.
Well, we had a chance, but the administration has not pushed for us to purchase them.
Yeah.
Because the local vendor wanted to push them in town here, but they got them out in Mill Creek and places, but not in the city. We're down to what's left.
On Route 19. And
yeah, we're down to what's left. But I kind of think those are cameras, John.
That's what I thought. Maybe they're for
They're not. You know, a lot of people think they're for speed, but what they are is.
I think they're for controlling the light.
Yeah, they're sensors. They what do you call it? Pick up number of vehicular traffic on the road, and then adjust the. It's better than remember the sensors they used to put under the road?
Yeah. They got rotted out and broke and everything else.
Yeah, and then they had pressure plates at one time up on by Schultz up on 26th and Cascade.
Yeah.
They used to have the old pressure plate. My dad always tell me, make sure you run over the pressure plate.
Yeah.
Otherwise the light won't change. Or make sure you come up to the crosswalk so the sensor picks you up.
You'll stay there for a long time like Stanton when you go down there by the school, and that light won't change either.
I think they have a sensor up on like 38th and Glenwood Park area.
Yeah.
I think there's one there. In wintertime it gets crazy because you can't see the line, so if you hang back too far, the sensor might not pick you up. So, I mean, that's why I think the cameras are better.
I think that when it's all said and done, they've done a good job up there. It looks like they have the ADA ramps. They're going to drain properly. But I have seen a bunch of water laying on the roads.
The what?
Water laying on the road in some spots.
Yeah, that's every time we put those ramps up, we have that problem.
But this isn't on the ramp. This is in the middle of the block.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm keeping an eye on that whole project. I think because the guy earlier was asking about the lights and everything, but I think all in all, it looks pretty good though.
They sure have a long span for those lights they're hanging. Of course, that's how it is in the big cities.
You mean the length of them?
Yeah.
They're pretty sturdy though.
Well, we'll find out.
Well, I mean, I've seen them, like you say, in some of the big cities, they go out pretty far.
Yeah, they almost take up the whole lanes, and they have enough lights on them to hang. So,
I'm a proponent of overhead signs. They don't like to use them in Pennsylvania.
No.
But like I say, when you're closing a lane down, like you do on Parade Street, under the bridge, you should have overhead signs.
Sure, you should.
Those signs are on the pole. You might be blocked by a truck, or you might not be. You don't always look to your right. You're looking over or top
straight
of you.
ahead.
True.
But we'll see what happens. But
I see that at least the manholes aren't all rut getters.
no, some of them they did a pretty good job. Our guys were on them pretty good this time.
But some of them that are down, you still hit them. They should have put filler in, like tar, And if you have to open up the manhole, you have the equipment to open up the manhole.
Yeah, they're supposed to put those rings in there and all that, you know.
Yeah.
He placed a lot of rings.
Yeah.
I've been watching that job, and they said they'd be done in October. Well, here it is. And they're almost complete. But one other thing I'd like to mention. How do the Yankees do with the Indians?
I don't even want to go there.
Well, I don't know. It looks like Houston's taking care of them, too. But there were a lot of bad calls there.
What, in that Yankee-Indian game?
No, Yankee-Houston game.
You know, I'm not real enthused with the umpires as a rule anymore.
Yeah.
They've taken over the game that they think the public actually pays to watch them.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, I've watched different games, and I'm usually pretty fair about it. I've seen games where, you know, some pitchers get the calls, others don't.
Yeah, I've noticed that. With a rookie pitcher, compared to a veteran,
Yep.
they seem to lean towards the veteran.
Or some guys can't strike out, or
That's true. I mean,
you know, they got the better eye than the other guy. And then if you watch that little white box that's on TV, my God, if they ever called it the way it should be,
yeah.
your games would probably last for about 6 hours.
The only guy that had a good eye in baseball, well, I can think of two of them.
Well, Ted Williams was number one.
Then Joe DiMaggio.
Ted was the king, though.
Oh, yeah. He could kind of count the seams on a ball.
Yeah, they claim he didn't watch movies.
He didn't.
Yeah, he didn't want his eyes ruined. He was that good, but you know, I love baseball, John, but Mike, you know,
it's just like football. The money is getting to it.
I don't know how many more Indian games I can take where.
Well, I'll tell you. You mean Indians or?
Well, here you take that third game, that first one in New York, right?
Yeah.
If Aaron Judge is 1 inch shorter, or the ball by Lindor goes 1 foot further, we're not even joking with each other.
Yeah, you know, they used to say about that word if.
Yeah, but I mean, when you think about it, that's it right there. You look at that, and right after that, it was all downhill, and it's like they fell apart. And I'm going, how do you know? As a fan, you get tired of watching that. I mean, even a blind squirrel finds an acorn in the forest.
True.
Right? If you flip a coin, logic tells you that it should come up, well, relatively 50-50.
50, yeah.
You know, after being an Indians fan, it's like if you flip a coin 100 times,
True.
it might come up heads or tails 99 times.
Well,
I mean, one thing, it might come up heads 99 out of 100. I mean, they just completely take it out of you. I mean, and you know, you watch that and you go, how much can you take, you know? I mean, you know.
It's just like the Yankees used to have Kansas City for a farm team.
Yep.
And, you know, Judd, he hasn't done anything since he won the home run derby. He's hit a few home runs.
Well, I think they should get rid of that contest because it ruins all these kids.
But he's lost all his timing from all that. And
I mean, the Indians basically handled him pretty well. They just they couldn't handle the other guys. And
yeah, well, you know, you got that.
But when your so-called Cy Young winner loses 2 games, you know.
Well, that's the way the ball crumbles. But we'll see what happens.
That's why, you know what, I'm starting to think maybe I should watch college ball and.
That winds up almost like church softball.
Yeah, but at least you don't have to worry about.
6 to 65.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about getting nuts and buying shirts and all that. And,
Oh yeah. Well, that's what they want. They want the people to buy the products.
yeah.
That's my opinion on sports, because I don't have an opinion on sports. It's not about sports anymore. It's about dollars.
So, John, how's your block going? Pretty good?
You mean paving?
Yeah.
No paving up here. They got that street done finally, but that's it. It's all crumbling and all that. It'll be shot like yours was before long. And you know, the money that we spent for paving, we took out a bond that lowered our one bond rate, but it increased the other one, and these roads aren't going to last 25 years.
No, what is a solution, but nobody's going to like it.
Well, sure, that's the solution.
Pardon?
Sure, that's the solution.
I mean,
These taxes so much for road repair.
yeah, I mean, if you do it, though, I mean, what you got to do is, if you make a promise, you got to stick with the promise.
Yeah, you put it in the fund for road repair, and when your other funds go low, you don't go to it. That's like that one Italian, he had a problem because his funds are low.
Here we go. You know what we got to do, though?
What's up?
Get all the nonprofits to give us a,
Well, Gannon just gives that money down there for downtown when they should.
Yeah, but that kind of, I can understand that because that benefits them, but, some of that money, should go for enhancements in the area, but
it should go for safety.
But we need all these tax exempts to put a little bit into public safety and public works.
And these politicians crying that all this money being spent in the city that they're doing is for revitalization. This was the plan down the line long before the political year came up. Talking about political years, my whole front is Republican now.
What, your sidewalk?
Well, my sidewalk. But I've been waiting for that one sign to come in right in the middle.
Who, mine?
Yeah.
Don't you have mine?
No.
Oh, I better deliver it then.
Yeah. Put it between all of Jerry and Persingers.
Ooh, man, you're not supposed to talk about that on TV, but...
And I just said put your sign between Persingers and all of them. I didn't say what they were running for. Have a great one.
You too.
You too.
Bye-bye.
And John, you got us with the Yankees, so I got to admit that.
Okay.
I got to live with that now for a whole year.
Yeah.
He's going to let me hear about it all the time.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it, unfortunately.
Go ahead, caller.
Yes, I'd like to make a suggestion.
Sure, go ahead.
When that gentleman that you were just talking to,
Right.
if you two want to talk, have him call you at home. Because I've been trying for 20 minutes to call you.
We had an empty line for about 15 here till he called. So, I've been waiting, but go ahead. You got the line. Go ahead. What would you like to talk about?
Wow. Yeah, nobody called for 15 minutes.
Right.
He called, he was on the phone for like 7 minutes.
Now he doesn't want to talk. Well,
whatever.
What can I say? But, yeah, getting back to blight, we had that public meeting here, the study session. I think what it points out is that I think council wants to know what's going on. What's the plan? What are you going to do when you get up into other parts of the city?
Yeah.
Because make no mistake about it, this is a long 20-year plan. It's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
And you know what? It might lose, like a lot of plans, you hope it doesn't happen, but it could lose impetus and people just lose interest in it. Because, it's tough to keep people, focused for 20 years.
Yeah.
We're all like that, But,
yeah.
But this is, like I've heard guys on TV talking about the Detroit plan, this plan. The trouble when you compare these plans is you got to look at what are they allowed to do in their state that we can or can't do. Go ahead, caller.
Hey there, Cass.
How you been?
Good. I haven't heard from you lately, but anyhow, that what you just said, you had that meeting, and there's a long 20-year plan to that.
Well, that's the initial phase of it, but you can't put a date on anything. You've been around. You've seen.
Oh yeah.
You've seen how long it's taken for this to come downhill. It's going to take a long time to, and slow progress to get the other way.
You mentioned something about some of the non-profits.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a thing because if they got profits, they're not non-profits anymore.
Well, see, the term non-profit is very.
It's loosely applied today for that.
Well, you know what it is? There's a non-profit the way business looks at it, and there's a way that the taxable government looks at it, which means that a hospital makes money, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, they get to be non-taxable because what they do is, and if they're a private hospital, that's a different subject. But our two hospitals are not what they call private corporation hospitals.
Yeah.
They don't have a board of directors, so as such, they don't pay out what they call dividends, or They don't have stock in the corporation. So what happens is when they do make a profit, Doc, they have to show what they're doing with it, which is they'll either buy new equipment, they'll buy another hospital, they'll buy some more doctors.
I understand all that.
Yeah, that's where the confusion lies, but
as a city, why don't we approach some of these groups, such as Bishop Brock's group there, that he tries to train neighborhood kids to be able to work in the workforce, into train them to become builders or repair people to go through these blighted areas that the inspector has found faults with, and help the people correct them. I think that was the pressure point. A lot of these people, I can't do it because I don't have the money, I don't have the time, or maybe I don't have the physical ability to do it myself and can't afford to hire somebody.
Well, they gave us a list, and I want to see it get published on the city website. They gave us a list of service organizations. Some are religious, some are government, some are just, groups like Habitat for Humanity and stuff. But there was a list of groups. The trouble is they only have so much funds.
Right. Well, here's another issue with that, too, Kaz. Not everybody has computers. If you go to my blind club, there's only about 2 out of the 15 or 20 people there have computers because the others, because of visual impairment or other physical ailments, we cannot operate computers.
Well, that's why when we had the meeting the other night, we said, when you notify these people what you're doing in neighborhoods, how do you do it? And, there was a realization that while the majority of people do have computers and do watch TV or read the paper, but for those that don't, it was suggested, like by Mr. Villa, John Villa, who's heavy in the neighborhood watch programs, that he and like Best and other groups actually went door to door.
That's a good point.
But, once again, and this is, I always tell people, I said, volunteerism is nice, but you have to help too.
Well, that's just it.
Everybody has to say like I'd be willing, when they were paving my street, I said this the other day, that I would have been willing to go around with the person that was doing the street and actually knocking on doors with my neighbors, because I know a lot of them, and just telling them what's going down. And I think that's what we need to do. But here's
a way to it. Besides, maybe I know you've mentioned nonprofit organizations, and they're a good avenue of not so much volunteerism, but to reach out to help the fellow man. But the thing is, too, maybe what you can do is leave the door open for these people that they help to make a contribution of some sort to offset the cost, maybe of the material or so that makes it, they keep getting money circulating back in. And that would be helpful because, just like myself, I can't do a lot of the work I used to do anymore because of my broken arm. But I can contribute some to the cost of it, and and I appreciate always somebody with the eyesight to do it for me. But today it's hard for me to find anybody to work because.
Well, I met the guy that did my kitchen. I was talking with him, and I was very impressed with him. And
see, that's where I have some floor tiles I got to get repaired.
And what he did was he hired young gentlemen that were. I don't want to give his name over the air. I'd give it to you privately or something. But how do you say, he not only talks the talk but walks the walk. He hired young men that were incarcerated or
I understand that.
Had some problems, but
I've done that too. And
he's got him. Some of them, he actually got him a little bit into religion, and he's a religious guy. Very,
not purposely, but they do.
No, but he he lives his life by the rule. And I tell you that, even when he volunteers time, now remember, he's got to make a living too. Right. But it's people like him, and he told me there's quite a few of them out there. And this is what I brought up at the meeting and other meetings, that we here, as we go through this progress, when we get the land bank and everything else, we need to look at not only people who do it for profit, but we need to find people that are, volunteers, etc., to start righting the ship around. I think we can do that.
Oh, you can.
But, everybody's got to remember, you can't get everything for free either. So,
Remember Gannon at one time had a program called Project Helping Hand. They gave it the initials PH2. Project Helping Hand was to take veterans that had some knowledge to help those who needed the help in that field. Same thing that's working here. You can have a Project Helping Hand to help those who need some help. You can work it even through, I'm trying to think what his name is that had that there at the 8th and State there that took over the old Erie Sports Store.
Hands, you mean?
Hands.
Yeah.
They are helping hands, see, in the neighborhood development.
Well, I think everybody, when you look at, what Bishop Brock wants to do.
Yep. It's a good sounding program.
Well, I mean, they're doing it on their own, and, they're trying to, they're trying to work with these kids to get them, like even the trades, they've tried to get kids into their apprentice programs,
Oh, now there's one thing to trade. When Jim LaCoursic was living, agreed with me, we needed to get somebody from different trade groups, the unions particularly, to come on the air to talk about the different trades. What does it take to qualify to get into, say, maybe like an internship with them?
So much of that is, and I tell kids today, so much of the problems we have today is that kids have to understand that some of the mistakes they make when they're younger, and I don't want to go into specifics, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Those kind of things can sometimes harm you,
Well, they will.
And so it's hard to find. That's why I say when you have people that are willing to hire incarcerated people or people with different issues, that's very rewarding. And recently I'm going to a meeting with a program that deals with that, hiring people that have paid their time, and they need work now,
Well, you give them a second chance. And that's what I think a lot of people need nowadays, That's, from a religious standpoint, that's exactly what Christianity is about. Giving people who sin the second chance of have eternal life.
Yeah, a lot of times we're not talking about hardcore criminals. We're talking about people that did stupid things, and...
Well, I've done it to a couple of my neighbors who had a problem. They couldn't find work, and I hired them to help me on some certain projects here, and I paid them, And I feel that we need to get into a society of understanding and helping, but it's also the hand that feeds you better not be bit by the one being fed neither.
Yeah, it's hard to get people to to sometimes change what they've been taught all their life,
I'm going to get off the phone so I don't get that 7-minute increment.
Yeah, there you go. But hey, I did ride around your neighborhood a little bit. I seen some of your problems, so.
Well, I want to talk to you about Lancaster.
Yeah.
Got a situation coming up in Lancaster this next summer that I need to have you maybe give me some clues what to do.
Well, when I get done with visiting my kids shortly, I'll call you and we'll go out to lunch somewhere, breakfast.
Not on New Year's.
Huh?
All right. I can't drive. They won't let me.
No, I'll pick you up.
Yeah. And you remember you talked about those metal pads, Bob. You remember what was it at Liberty and 12th Street? They had those rubber pads that you would drive back and forth over to activate these.
Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah. So science keeps improving things, but eventually we'll get something done right.
Too bad we don't have a restaurant Guido's. I could have met you over there, but.
Well, God bless. Hey, who's with you, DJ?
DJ's here. Yeah, he just left for a minute.
Okay, well, tell him I said hi, and hopefully we'll talk again before the Thanksgiving.
No problem.
God bless. Bye now.
And feel free to call. We still got 20 minutes. I don't know what happened to DJ. He must got a call off the air. But yeah, getting back to blight. Blight is a tremendous problem. But I think, once we sit down and we had that meeting, we understand what's going on. I do think we need to do a better job, though, as a city, explaining what we're up to and what we're going to do and how it's going to affect the average homeowner. Our goal is to ultimately clean up the city so that we can once again have people actually want to come back and live here on a regular basis. Too often I hear why people move out, and I really don't like that. But I mean, it's an issue in a lot of places as I travel. But you hate to see it in your hometown, and I think a lot of it has to do with the job market being down, and people, and to some degree I blame us because we haven't done a good job, and people get tired of listening to excuses, and they take the easy way out, and just it's easier to run out into the suburbs than it is to change your neighborhood. And with that, here comes our returning conquering hero.
I'm back. I just had to make an audio adjustment. It seems like our Ustream audio is a little bit hot. So Mike and I are going to work on the problem at some point.
That's why we keep him around here, right?
That's why, yes, that's why you keep him. That's why he gets paid the big bucks.
Big bucks?
Big bucks.
Yeah, but he doesn't drive a big fancy car or anything.
No. He's humble. That's good.
Humble is good.
Humble is good. We live in a society, I hate to keep getting down about society, but we live in a society where everything's about me and I'm important and what you have to say doesn't matter because it's my opinion or nothing.
Well, that is true. That's why, I think, I was saying before you come back, that's a lot of the problems. The problems are that people today, they think about, I'll take the easy way, and I think that's what's happened around here is that we just kind of, sit there and nothing happens.
We sit there expecting everyone to fix our problems for us too. So that's another.
And that's true. And you know what?
Issue.
It's like even, we've heard time and time again that, we keep looking to, they call it the pig in the trough complex. We keep waiting for Washington and Harrisburg to fill the trough up.
Yeah.
When sometimes I think you just have to do it on your own. And that's why I get encouraged when I see local people.
Yeah.
The Kennedys.
Yeah.
The Scotts. Do they make money? Yeah. You know what? So what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
But, they take the chance. They do things. And hopefully, it's for the better. Everybody, does, hopefully it turns out. But, we got to start encouraging, I was talking the other day with a person here at City Hall. And as I go around town and I do what everybody does. You get your hair cut, you listen to the people that serve you at breakfast.
Right.
You go around to restaurants. They all tell you the same thing. They're frustrated. What we got to do now is we got to invest in ourselves. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
I always read in the paper about what this candidate's going to do and that candidate. You know what? Sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like, we were not interrupted. We were pleasantly interrupted by a caller, but when you get back to, you hear about, well, let's do the Cincy plan, or sometimes you can't, okay? You can't because the laws are different in your state.
Yeah.
We had the convention here 2 weeks ago, the annual summit of leaders. Mm-hmm. And when I go to their towns and I visit them, we talk, and we talk here too at these conventions. And I don't like to call them conventions because they're summits or work studies, but you find out that, they get frustrated too because you can't just go out there and wave a wand and say, that's a blighted house, let's tear it down. First, there are laws on the Commonwealth books.
Right.
People are amazed. They go, well, and I think that is what they don't teach in school. They don't teach the difference between cities, counties, boroughs, townships, states, federal government, the laws, how they work.
Yeah.
You just can't always do what you want to do. There are laws we can't pass. It's like, people say, well, why don't we get a room tax? Under third class code, we can't.
Right.
So, we could pass that ordinance. We have no teeth to collect it.
Yeah.
And those things, that's why we try to change them, with these conferences. But so much is frustrating. People like go, look what they did in Detroit. Well, that was Michigan. And guess what? The state of Michigan decided they were embarrassed. Much as they do in Pennsylvania when Philadelphia goes in the tube or Pittsburgh, the money starts flowing. Well, that attitude has to come down now to the other cities.
Yeah.
You know, the Reddings, the Yorks, the Eries, even lower, the Coreys, the St. Mary's, the Bradford.
Yeah.
And that has to change, but state law doesn't always change. So, you can say anything you want in the newspaper. You can tell what you're going to do. But at the end of the day, maybe you can't. But you better look before you say, it's good. Fine, we get these people coming in from Milwaukee and all that.
Yeah.
And you listen to them. But then you have to get your legislature to allow you to do those things if you can or can't.
Yeah.
And that becomes the frustrating part.
Yeah, well, that's where you get people on, your side, like Pat Harkins and Flo.
Yeah.
You get them to go swinging a hammer downstate and getting stuff taken care of, and I know they try.
What you got to remember is when you look at this Commonwealth,
yeah,
if you took all your cities and add up all your legislators,
yeah,
the rural areas have more. That is your problem. Go ahead, caller.
Hi, Kaz.
How you been? Turn your radio down. Your TV, I'm sorry.
I'm the rude girl that called just a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah?
I just want to apologize. I'm in a bad mood.
Oh, that's okay. You know what? We all have... Hey, I'm not in the best mood all the time either.
Yeah.
Do you have my phone number on your telephone?
Yeah, I think we do. Hang on one second. Yeah, I won't give it over the air.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
When you're off here, can you call me back?
Sure. Let me make sure I got it.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it? Okay. I got it too. Okay, I'll give you a call. I usually make a couple rounds around here first.
Okay.
So don't get upset if I don't call you back right away.
I understand.
I usually go upstairs and walk around a little bit.
I will remind him before he drops me back off at work.
I appreciate it.
Okay, I will call you back. But don't feel bad. Hey, look.
Oh, I won't. I'll call you back next week.
Sometimes I get bored here. Like we were sitting here and we were I said, man, I hope somebody calls because...
We end up talking about the most random stuff unless somebody calls and puts us back on track.
Usually I watch this faithfully.
Yeah.
Are you having trouble watching it, or?
But I was out of the house. Just got back in, turned it on, and you were talking, and I just got it.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you what I wanted to say then.
Okay, but
gotcha.
If you would call me, I would appreciate it. And again, I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. You don't have to apologize. Hey,
yep,
that's what I get. That's what I'm up here for. You're supposed to yell at me. And,
yeah.
If I can't take it, then I should leave.
Yes.
Okay?
All righty.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Yeah, but I've never worried about being yelled at.
Damn it, guys.
Well, if you got thin skin, don't get in this business. You're never going to make it.
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Kaz, on behalf of what that fellow just said, can you do a favor, truth to us, because I tried to call you on your phones.
Call me on my personal one. My home phone.
Your home phone and your cell phone. Your cell phone keeps saying your box is full.
Hey, it is. You know why?
He doesn't know how to run it.
No, I do, but I wake up in the morning and that phone that's got a very short memory, and by the time I clear it, it gets filled up again.
Yeah.
So my home phone is actually got so many on there. I'm going down the list one at a
Jeez.
You can't imagine how many calls I get on there.
Yeah.
I want to get in touch with your wife too, because I know she does some Italian genealogy, and I have a couple of people that were trying to do some of that.
Oh.
You're a great person to consult with.
Well, she's just getting into my mother. She started out on her own for a while, but now she tried to get a job at the library volunteering. They wouldn't hire her. Right. Not hire her. They wouldn't let. She wanted to go upstairs and do the genealogy room. They wouldn't let her.
I haven't talked to Deb Lyons. Maybe Deb might be able to help her. But in the meantime, I tried so many times to reach you, and that's the only way I can leave a message on your home line.
Well, you had to talk to, because you remember you went to the Mormons, didn't you?
To where?
Didn't you go up to the Mormon place on Young Road, the Mormon temple?
Oh, for the genealogy study there, yeah.
Yeah, because they used to have Polish people that could help you go through the...
They don't anymore. See, they have restricted their hours to only 4 days out of the week and 2 hours on each one of those days.
Well, you can understand. I mean, like my wife is mailed to, Salt Lake City for some stuff.
Don't do that anymore.
They don't?
Just continue that effective September 1st.
Wow. You know what? They must have got hit so much.
Oh, no. What they're doing now is they're digitalizing every one of them so you can get them on family history.
Oh, like Ancestry or something?
Yeah, but you go to Family History, which is their website, and you'll be able to view those that they have downloaded on there already. But eventually they'll get them all on there, because it's getting hard for them to get volunteers to sit up there to do that, and you got to wait almost a month and a half.
That's what DJ and I were talking about. That, like when you brought up things, I said it's tough to get people to volunteer.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd like to talk to Mary Jane sometime to see what she has as far as some guidelines for Italian. Because I've never done the Italian. I've done Irish, Polish, and German, Russian, but
Well, we were lucky. We found a website with the village.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
But there's a website you can actually see the graves.
Some of them, yeah. Well, like my wife, she will take pictures for people of grave sites.
Huh?
And some of them are a real treat when you go up there. I mean, they're like, when they're 100 and some years old,
yeah.
You almost have to take wax paper and...
Yeah.
Oh, it's on your cell phone every so often. I mean, I don't know if you got to do it every day or what.
Oh, yeah, I do. But
or have Verizon extend the amount of time you can record on that. I think there might be an app on that for that.
I don't know. I'll have to ask Mike in the back. He's the IT man.
Well, yeah, have him give you a hand here. Maybe you might take a drop kick. You drop it and kick it, and then it restores it.
There you go.
All right. Hey, DJ, thanks for coming back on.
Hey, no problem. I'm here until January.
All right. That means I got to bring you something special on the 25th.
Hey, I got your tape recorders, too.
Unless we get them banned from Colorado or something.
No, you can't. That would be bad right now.
We'll get them...
I will say this, Kay. I don't know if any of the listeners have ever heard of the band Happy Days. There's a musical band out of Bemis Point. There's a, what's it called, nightclub up there.
Oh, the old surf club.
Yep. My cousin was the one that owned that. He just died Saturday.
Ooh.
Sorry to hear that.
Hey, how'd you make out that guy that came up from the Vogues? Did you meet him that day?
The guy from what?
Wasn't it Vogues, or was it the guy you went to high school with?
Yes, I didn't get to meet him because it was a bad weather day and he had to get going again, but I did talk to him on the phone.
Ah.
I didn't meet from the Tommy James and Shondells.
Yeah, that was it.
Yep, he's still good friends and he's still producing music. But anyway, we could talk more about it. I think if people want to call.
Okay, no problem. We still got...
We have 5 minutes. I repeat, there are 5 minutes left.
He gave us a 5-minute mark?
We got the 5-minute sign. He came out and waved. He's like, hey.
5?
5.
That's not good. But
wrap it up.
I'm trying to get rid of this cough.
Yeah, I've had bronchitis issues for the past month and a half, and it's not pretty.
My pharmacist and my doctor love me.
Oh, yeah. You're keeping them in work.
Oh.
I know the feeling. So, I don't know. What else you got?
Nothing much. I think it's been, like I say, it's been, right now we're focused on, at the end of the year here, getting, hopefully, in the last couple months of my presidency here, we want to get some stuff cleared up, and hopefully we can find out what the heck's going on with some of the initiatives that we passed earlier.
Yeah.
We need to get them moving because
right.
We heard some of the frustration from various people,
Yeah.
But it's not like we haven't done anything. We're waiting for the legal okay.
You know, getting stuff done involves a lot of waiting, and it's frustrating.
It doesn't have to.
No.
There's an old saying that I remember a swift number 9 to the backside sometimes takes care of problems.
Yeah.
That has to come, when you're the lead. There's an old, you ever hear the old saying up in Alaska?
No.
That unless you're the lead dog, the view is always the same. Well, that has a lot to do with it. In other words, the lead dog, whoever that is in life, once in a while, a little pressure from his size 9 takes care of a lot of issues. It's amazing how fast we move when we want to, but how slow we move when we don't want to.
Oh, yeah.
Move fast,
Oh, I hear you.
It frustrates me because you watch how we get emergency legislation, like that, right? But then other times it plods along.
Yeah. There's a lot of plotting going on.
It's like, that's why I say a little slap on the backside, a little kick in the...
You say a size 9, but I think a 9-iron works as well. I got a couple things I could talk about here at the end.
Go ahead, finish it up.
I just want to let you know that we're wrapping things up to CAT. This year's kind of coming to a close. We have our annual member picnic coming up on the 28th for members, or if people just want to stop by and check things out. We're having like a potluck lunch dinner type thing. So bring a dish to pass, and you could be a member or just check things out.
Potluck,
like bring a dish to pass type thing.
That sounds like when they used to throw the ration cans in the Army in a big pot. and the description got melted away. You didn't know what you got.
So you just did what you get. Well, usually things are described so people tell you what you're going to get. But we had a rummage sale last week, and it went very well. We sold off about 50% of the crap that we've been accumulating for the past couple of years.
Spring?
We're doing it for next spring. We hit our goal. So we can actually continue. We're going to have a spring rummage sale that's going to be
I apologize.
More stuff coming in and more stuff getting sold.
I was under the weather. I wanted to donate, but...
Trust me, I know what the under the weather feeling is, but having only 2 staff members, I'm kind of stuck being there, whether I'm sick or not. That was just some good news about that. We had the rummage sale. We did really well, sold off a bunch of stuff. We're going to do it again in spring, so I'll make an announcement probably. Well, I might not be here, but I'll give you stuff to announce. We talked a little bit about BlurryCon, the anime/cartoon convention. It's big and it's getting bigger. We're in our 5th year. I just wanted to thank the Bayfront, what's it called, the convention center?
Yeah.
The Bayfront Convention Center. I wanted to thank you guys for hosting us and allowing us to use your facilities. And we look forward to working with you guys in the future. Our 5th year was our biggest yet. We're ever expanding. And we look forward to working with you guys next year.
Well, I think it's great when, the whole purpose of these conventions or get-togethers, they're kind of funny. I'm not into it, but I certainly would have fun watching these people walk around like that. But
it was really interesting because I didn't do anything. About the best I have is I have one of those shark heads that you buy from Walmart. And I was going to walk around, but I was seriously so busy this weekend. Sunday, I didn't even get a chance to sleep. I slept from 6 a.m. until 7 a.m., and then I got up and I did it all over again. Ended up driving our main guest. She was a voice actor for a lot of cartoons. Drove her back to Cleveland Airport and then came back. And by the time I got back, we had to pack everything up and we had to get out of the convention center quick. So it was that busy and that hectic, but it was that fun.
Part of me would, you'll never see this, part of me would love to, get the old lightsaber out.
We had giant Star Wars props. We had...
See Mike there.
Yeah, that guy.
He won't admit it?
He won't admit it.
He wants to come as Chewbacca.
He wants to be on TV.
He's a Chewbacca man.
Maybe we can get him to dress up as Chewbacca and be on the show. Because I heard stuff like that's happening.
That's next time we have Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
Well, ours is a pretty big comic / cartoon blurry con type thing. There's like 3 or 4 conventions now in Erie, and what I say is competition breeds
we
good
get
things.
John to come as Buckle On Man, the
Yeah.
big fish, and then I can't tell you Doc. We know Doc's persona.
We'll get Doc to come as something.
But we know his persona. We can't tell.
I bet we could get Carl. We get Carl to come on as something. I saw him today. He stopped up the cat.
Make it back?
No, Skunky's dead.
Dead?
Yeah, but we'll see.
Oh,
maybe a shark head.
Does that mean we got to go up to you?
We got to go. We're out.
But
thanks for watching.
I got 3 questions I got to look up.
And you got a phone number. You got to call that lady.
Yes, I do.
I got the number.
Right one now?
All right, we'll check that.
And then I got to check on all these other items.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for calling.
Will I see you next week?
Yeah, you'll see me next week.
I have to announce there probably will not be a show next week.
Well, then you won't see me next week.
Because I think I'll be out of town. I have a...
What? Why are you going out of town all the time?
My kids all live out of town.
Yep, that's the right number.
They're having their birthday, so that is the right number.
All right. Goodbye, everyone. It's been wonderful, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Unless you want to do the show. Will you be back in a couple of weeks?
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9.